I was born in the city of Chengdu. That's the capital city of Sichuan province in southwestern part of China. It's right next to Tibet, so it was is in a huge mountain area. My older sister is a chemist, and my second sister is electrical engineer, and my brother is an artist. Actually, he's a novelist and director in a TV station. So then myself, actually, before I opened the restaurant, actually I was a professional musician. Yeah, I graduated from Sichuan Conservatory. Then I was teaching over there, and until I met one guy who graduated from OSU. That was back in China. He went to conservatory, attended some of my concerts, and then he was like, "You should go to U.S." I was like, "Richard, I don't have any friends or relatives in U.S. and then my monthly salary was 75 yen, which is like maybe equivalent to $10, $15 per month, you know. And then I said, on top of all those, I don't speak English. Then he goes, it's no big deal. Just make a recording, and I graduated from OSU, the Oregon State, this university. I loved it, and here's the address. Just send it. What are you gonna do? I was like, okay. And it was very quickly, within 2 weeks, you know. Then I got the express mail from Dr. Jim Douglas, who was a band director at the OSU. And you know, my friends then look at it and say like, Jay, I think this professor really interested in you. Then 3 months later, he sent me a letter just like, okay, I got everything ironed out. Like, you know, so then he says, I will offer you full scholarship, and so including like a tuition waiver, and then I got a TA position for you, so you have $200 per month. I know that's still not good enough, you know. I will be your personal financial sponsor, so you can just stay at my house free of room and board. So I was like, oh my God, you know. Then also I was like, then he goes, English, then just go take a TOEFL test and see what's the score. Then my score was like really, really low. It was just bad. So I applied the visa 13 times. 13 times, and during 2 years, for 2 years, you know. And in China, there's a U.S. embassy in Beijing, the capital, then 4 consulates all around the country. You know, China is very big, you know. And I went all of them. You know, just at that time was very naive. We just thought, okay, in Chengdu I got denied. And each time you get denied, you get a stamp. And so every time you apply, they go in and they just look at the stamp first. Then they saw that, and then they don't even bother to look at what everything, they just throw you out. Until one day in 1988, October, or end of September, one of my friends came back, stopped by my place and say, Jay, I just got my visa, who also had a little bit similar situation with me, but he just applied for like 3 times. And I go, get out of here. Well, how you do it? He goes, I just went to Beijing, and over there was pretty loose. Now all the guys just saying, in embassy, if you got a guy who has a mustache, you're doomed. That guy is always just denying, you know, his job just denying everybody, you know. So they were just like, no mustache, no mustache. Of course, then I got caught with my mustache. I was like, okay, I'm experienced. I've been denied so many times. So then he asked, then he asked me the same question. He just, have you met the professor? And I said, yes, I did. You know, then he grabbed the stamp. I knew that was not a denial stamp. Oh, my heart was pumping so hard that, you know, at that time. Then he just said, okay, October 5th, come to get your visa. I was like, when I was in college, high school, my mother taught me actually just one dish, and then she just said, you should know how to cook, you know. And so then I just cooked one veggie dish. That was my first dish. In China, actually, it's very convenient to eat, you know, places. So you don't really need to cook until I came here. And fortunately, before I get on the plane, my brother bought an old recipe cookbook for me. So they just take it. So when I came here, then I really missed the food, you know. So I was like, okay, I should start. So that's where I actually started to cook, learn how to cook in this country. Fortunately, then OSU hired me. So I was teaching music at OSU, and I was principal trumpet for Portland Opera. I started with Oregon Symphony, and I play with the Bach Festival in Eugene each year, and Oregon Coast and the Cascade. So we're thinking to bring my in-laws, because my wife is only child, so we know probably in some time they probably will come. And so we said we should find something to do. And then I know my mother-in-law makes incredibly good noodle soup. So it's well, we could, you know, we asked, and then, so you want to do a restaurant, you know, not big, just small. Then they say, yeah. I say, if you really want to, I'm going to look for venue. So I started looking for venue, and this place before was called Bento. It was owned by a Cantonese guy. The couple are very sweet, very, very sweet. And I knew them because I used to help them to translate documents, all those things. And so one day I said like, Ken, I feel like you guys close more often. You never close, you know, for vacations. And I go, oh, you didn't know we're trying to sell this place. She's like, oh, really? I said, but there's quite a people who are interested in that, you know, but they try to make a hard bargain with me. So I said, how much? And I said, how much? I said, oh, okay. And the same night, I Skyped with my in-laws. I was like, do you guys want to do this? Now I want to emphasize this, is that you have to leave your family, your friends behind, and you don't speak the language. Any place you go, we have to drive you. You have to think about those, you know. And for father-in-law, you love to play mahjong. There's no way you find people to play mahjong with, you know, all the things. Then they say yes. Then the next day I came back. I would just say, Ken, how much you asking for this? He goes, how much? Then I go, okay, here's the check. He go, you don't even make a bargain? Really? I go, you worked so hard. This will be a good retirement for you. I said, then I also believe we will make this thing work. So that's how, and also I love the location, because if I ran from here to my old office, 30 seconds. You cannot ask for better than this, right? So that's how we start the restaurant. So I thought after a year, I will situate everything. I should be able to go back to as being a musician. Then I never thought it would be this busy. And that time it was not the hot pot. It was the noodles and dumplings, wonton soup. People always thought, you know, the restaurant will be like, you know, you will breaking at least 3 months or even half year before people really get to know you. No, that I just like the first month, I just like, it was just crazy, you know, also because of the size, you know, and then just all family, 4 of us, we just, you know, did those. And I just like, oh my God, and then it's really lacking of practice time for me. but I still can teach. But perform as a performer, if you lacking of time to practice, you're in serious trouble. So then after a year, then I had to tell opera, so I had to quit. So most of the performance job, I all had to like quit. And I just kept the university job. So sometimes, yeah, that was very funny. You know, I will like schedule my lessons or around my restaurant schedule. September 2014 was the year we started. So it's almost 10 years. Yeah, and I never thought I would enjoy working in a restaurant. And then my in-laws started to thinking that's enough after 6 years. So they decided to retire. So then that's how we say, change the menu. So just with me and my wife. So I thought, oh, that's a lot, So I thought, okay, then I'll just retire from OSU. It would be nice. Yeah, but then after I retired, then the pandemic hit. So it was like, oh, it's bad timing. But fortunately, a lot of people supporting us. We did a lot of takeout. And then the government programs also really helps. This to me is my philosophy is always to say, if I decide to do one thing, then I'll just put every 100% effort and the thought to the things I want to do. So and to the restaurant, the original idea is like I don't want too big. I want it small, because in my hometown we have hundreds of those kind of hole in the wall restaurant. Nothing fancy, but fantastic food. I thought this is in my mind. That's what I wanted to do, And also I just thinking this is very cozy, very intimate. I like to communicate with the people. I like to learn each person's short stories or their personality. And the very beginning, I think I'm open myself up to the customers, and I do care very much about how they think about food. Not to say, if they say, well, this is not what I want, okay, but I will not change the flavor of the food because that's what we have. This is my philosophy is like I will present the authentic food to then give people a chance to pick and choose, but I will not assume what Americans like. I think this is one is I will not just only losing myself, but also it's very unfair and an insult to my customers, all the Americans, because you give out the false taste, and that's just not cool. Then people are thinking, that's a Sichuanese hot pot. No, it's not, right? So that's my philosophy, which I think it really works out and stands out. Maybe being a musician, I've been very observant, because when you play in the orchestra, your eyes always, even though you're busy with on the music score, your eyes always can watch the conductor. So I always be able to, when I'm talking to people, I will be able to notice what people need. And sometimes maybe the soccer skill also kick in, like I can anticipate what people wanted. That's what people really appreciate it. It's like, oh my God, you know what, I need this, or, that's I think one how I communicate or connect with the customers. Many, I think a majority of the percentage of the customers came in, if they enjoy this kind of flavor, they will definitely will tell you like, oh, this is my first time ever to feel this. The frat house around here, the second month after we opened, there's one guy just passing by, just like, I've been passing by your restaurant for a month. I cannot help it now. Today I'm gonna come in. Then he just tried one. Then the next day he brought three guys with him. It's like, guys, I'm telling you, you will not believe how this tastes, And then later next week, and then there's five guys will come in, and that's how to do this, And HK the Asian market, when the owner came talk to me, then I told them, I said, don't change anything, give people a chance. You have to have faith in people, who knows what's good stuff, So actually they all start doing more authentic food instead.